Hi, my name is Tasha Cochran, and I am a mom of two and founder of the company One Big Happy Life. I share the personal details of my financial life to inspire families to build wealth and enjoy their lives. I was born in South America and I came to the United States when I was 2. Neither one of my parents had graduated from high school, much less college, so we had absolutely no idea how to navigate the college process, how to pay for it. One of the things that drew me to the military was the fact that I could make my own money while also making money for college. I went to boot camp when I was 18, and then by June of the following year, I was pregnant with my daughter, Alexis. I literally had nothing to my name but some clothing and a boombox. I knew that I needed to figure out how I was gonna buy all the things that I needed over the course of the next 8 months. And that's how I stumbled upon the budgeting method that I've been using ever since, which is having a 1-year spending plan. So I'm only making about $25,000 a year. I was able to move off base into a tiny apartment. My rent was $300 a month. My housing allowance was something like $1,200 a month. And so only spending $300 a month gave me that extra $900 to put towards my daughter. And then I also started to take college classes at night. I knew that the best long-term play was to focus on getting my education. It was quite a bit of a journey to go from 19-year-old single mom to Yale Law graduate. The first step was just deciding that I was going to get out of the military, which is not a super easy decision to make because it was a guaranteed income. I got a part-time job because I understood that we would need that extra income after I got out of the military. So by the time I left, I had my GI Bill, and then I was working 2 part-time jobs, and then also now going to school full-time. At first, what I wanted was just to go to law school, but I read that going to a top law school makes it far more likely for you to get a great job. So that's when I decided to set my sights on the top schools because I had an almost 4.0 GPA at that point. So I focused on studying for the LSAT and ended up doing really well. One of the reasons why I went to Yale Law School is because they have a loan repayment assistance program. So I ended up graduating law school with a total of $160,000 in student loans. I ended up backing into a career as a banking and finance attorney. I absolutely loved banking and finance. I love personal finance. That is the thing that I will be doing for the rest of my life. And I continued that by working for the FDIC in small community banks and then for the CFPB regulating the biggest banks in the US. Being able to dig that deep into some of the biggest banks in the country allowed me to understand personal finance on a whole different level. At that time, I met Joseph. Joseph's office was shutting down and they gave him the opportunity to move to one of 3 cities, and we chose Washington, DC. So that pushed me over into private practice because I had to look for a new job, and luckily I found a job that was even more challenging than before. After having my son, I decided to step off the aggressive career track I was on, and I took a job that was supposed to be more laid back. Well, it turned out it was a heavy travel job, and I was the most unhappy I had ever been in my life. Joseph's like, you need a hobby. Take your mind off of what is happening. At that same time, I got a check in the mail from YouTube because 3 years before I had posted a video, and that video had been amassing a few dollars every month. And so I got that check and I'm like, I'll just make some more YouTube videos. And that's how One Big Happy Life was born. The things that were being said in the personal finance sphere did not align with the data and the facts that I was experiencing as a banking and finance attorney. All of that experience really prepared me for One Big Happy Life, where I'm teaching people how to really take control of their financial destiny instead of being afraid of mortgages and credit cards, and how they can really use them to help them build wealth. When we started talking about personal finance heavily, it's like, how can I make these concepts relatable to people? And the easy way for me was to show a real life family living these principles and it makes sense to them. And so collectively we had $1 million in debt. I showed them the numbers and I could say, this is the way personal finance actually works, but I am still a breadwinner. There was no way I was gonna quit my job until my business was able to replace my job income. So it took about 2.5 years and it was the best decision that I could have made. 3 years later, we've paid off almost $200,000 worth of debt and we've grown our nest egg by hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we've done it while enjoying our lives. People are like, wow, and the progress you've made is incredible. And I'm like, guys, you can do this too. It is entirely possible to live a life that you love while you're budgeting. But also, it's understanding too that things will happen and then you plan for them. Do not prioritize paying off debt over building your financial stability, because there are things that you can do to navigate your debt in financial uncertainty, but there's nothing that you're gonna be able to do to pay for food. So understanding what you want out of life and how much it costs is the key. And then secondly, know how much of a nest egg you need to have, because if you just focus on building enough money to meet your expenses when you retire, you will reach financial independence. I am really grateful for our business because it's enabled our family to just have so many amazing life experiences. And I want every person to feel empowered to go after what they want, but also to thrive financially, because that has been my goal for now almost 2 decades, to give my kids the kind of life that I've always dreamed that they could have. Now, instead of it just being for my life, it's for other people's lives too.